Captain Alberto Zertuche here, and so today I am actually working on snapper rigs. Now on these, they wanted them a certain way, and basically it was blood knotted loops, so that way it's an all mono leader. And it's something like this. But see, I have a jig in the back where I was able to actually tie all these loops, and now I've got to come back, cut them, add my weight loop, add my loop for my swivel so I can attach my main line and continue going on from there. So here's to making some snapper leaders today. See how this goes. I've got probably enough setups to make 20 something, maybe 30 something leaders there. I don't know, because when I'm on the jig and I'm tying my leaders and stuff like that, I really try to keep count, but I don't at the same time, because once you get 5 or 6 through and then you get a phone call and another phone call, you lose track of numbers there. So we'll see how it looks. Yeah. Be a little bit of work. Oh. Okay, what we have started with is 100-pound monofilament, and I've done the blood knots here to make my loops for my hooks. But at the same time too, I've got one huge section, so what I got to do is I've got to divide it up into the way I want to set it up. For these leaders, I'm just doing 2 hook rigs. I'll be using some eagle claw hooks, and I use the plastic compartments to store my sleeves because it's just easier to walk around with them when you grab a whole set of boxes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a loop at the end for the weight. And the reason we're doing a loop instead of actually putting a snap swivel on is because a lot of times these boats will use bank weights instead of pyramids and stuff like that. So it's easier to loop a bank weight through because they have such a big old bulky eyelet on them. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. So every 2 hooks, I'll divide my section up like this. I'll cut it right in the middle. Alright, do it again. I'll keep doing this until I have the whole bucket of line cut off. And that way it'll give me a heads up of how many liters I can actually make. Coming up on our last one right here. Alright, so now that I've got them all cut, I'm going to put them back into my bucket just because it will reduce the amount of mess I got here. And I just happen to pull out the first one. I already tied a loop here on this end. That was my starting point. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on my swivel over here on this end. And I'm actually using the stainless steel swivels that are rated for 200 pounds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do an offshore loop to attach my swivel to it. And I'm using 1.0 double mini sleeves for my connection point there. Again, when you're crimping these sleeves, you need to make sure that it's perfectly balanced on each side, or not perfectly, but it's in the middle of the sleeve. And I usually leave a small tag in there, if you can see that. There you go. One simple crimp. So now I've got my connection point to my main line, got my hook section and my weights. So, and again, when you're attaching circle hooks, or any kind of hook, you always want to put it to where the line goes in the hook this way and out the other. And all you do is loop it on. And there you go. Simple but very effective leader for catching snapper. And also too, if you use smaller hooks like these smaller ones right here, catch smaller fish there if you want to. But a lot of times they'll use this size and the bigger size above it to catch the snapper and stuff like that. So now that I've got that, go ahead and get it bagged up. my snapper rigs right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to make a few different size additions. I'm going to use the 7/0, the 8/0, and the 10/0. And it's the same rig, except we'll put different hooks on, which is fine. It's just people want to target different types of fish, so we offered a small assortment of it. But they're all built pretty much the same way when we're using monofilament. If we're using coated cable, then we build it totally different. There. Nice. And also too, we like to use some inshore stuff. We're guys that actually use weights, so they like to do the snap spool on there. And we'll also do the offshore loop as well. So on this one, we'll throw an 8/0 on it. And it's not much difference in size compared to the 7/0, but you'll see right there. And again, going through the hook side in, and then out the other way. Another nice little snapper rig right there. Bigger size hooks. Still using the 1.0s. And then two, you can almost use the same leader setup for going for AJs, or you can throw bigger bait on by using a bigger hook. So on the end, I'm going to throw a big loop. That way they can attach to the weight, put on their hooks. And these I'm going to use the 10/0. Thank you. I got 3 different sizes of snapper rigs right there, and or you can use this one for AJ. You can use this one for AJ as well. Those hooks will actually hold them very nicely. There you go. So we got a 7/0, an 8/0, and a 10/0 in your snapper rigs. And that's a simple way to get your leader set up. So we'll keep going, do what we got to do over here.